So you may be asking, what was with all those old videos, Jay? And the answer was, I was not in good shape for a couple of weeks. Somehow, Halloween, I hurt my back. I didn't lift anything or do anything. It just started hurting. And it was really bad. It was one of the worst times I had back pain, and I have some pretty bad back pain most times, but it was really bad, and it was hard to move around and all kinds of great stuff. And then moping around the house, I tripped over something, stubbed my toe, and lost a toenail in the process. Isn't that lovely? But that'll grow back in 27 more years, so no big deal. But when I changed the circulator pump on the boiler, I had a little bit of a problem. As a matter of fact, it was quite a shocking discovery. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. If we go over here, my buddy XJoe81X and I installed this outlet with a plug on it. The idea behind it was so I could run the circulator pumps on the boiler on generator power should we ever lose power. So the idea is power is supposed to come into the box, and then it's wired into whatever it's wired into, and then runs down to the boiler. So you just break it right here with an outlet and a plug, you know, and you can hear it shut like that. The problem I had is that if you touch one of these prongs while leaning on this pipe, and you can actually see a little shiny spot, if it'll focus, right in the middle where I probed with a meter. One of these prongs is live, so something wasn't wired properly. So you don't want to I found out by accidentally touching that, which I thought was dead, while leaning on this pipe, and that turned out to be a little bit of a shocking discovery. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Now, this boiler runs with 120 volt thermostats. I don't know why it was wired that way. I guess that's what they did back in the day. But it runs 120 volts to the thermostats, and they are 120 volt thermostats. Like this one here, if you open it up and take the cover off, which no, I'm not going to do, it says 120 volts inside. And all it's doing is, it's just a switch, really. So they run a pair of wires to it. Here's the back of it, and that gray wire goes up, and it runs over here, and there's the gray wire you can see. There's just a pair of wires there, and it's all tied in, and basically what happens is down this pipe runs 3 wires, a neutral and 2 hot lines. Each one is switched by the thermostat. It goes through all the control gizmos over here. I don't know how any of this works. There's some contactors in here, I believe, for something, and I know that when it's on, these points here get continuity. These are wired together, same over here, and this whole thing is wired together. That goes to the back of the boiler, and that, I guess, somehow is connected to the gas valve and tells it to turn on. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with 120 volt thermostats. Most boilers use 24 volts, but this uses 120, I guess, because of the age of the system. Well, anyways, normally what you'd get here is a total of 4 wires. And you say, but wait, there is 4 wires. There's the pipe there going out, there's this wire here, and one here, and one here. Well, no, imagine this wasn't here to begin with. Then there's only 3. So what they did is the upstairs thermostat, they ran power to the switch at the top of the steps here from the circuit breaker. Out of this switch, so in here you have your hot, which is switched by the switch, and the neutral, which is just here and just continues on. So that runs through the wall, through the ceiling, through everything, all the way over to the thermostat. So now in this box, what you have are 3 wires. You have a red wire, a black wire, the black is the hot, and the neutral just again passes through this and goes downstairs. But the black wire is shared. What they did is the pair of wires, the black and the red, which would be switched together when this pump is to turn on, they ran that black wire from here down to the box. That gives power through the other thermostat. So what happens is there's not enough wires in this box, and because of the way this was done, I can't have it wired properly. It's a little hard to explain, but it ends up that one leg of the upstairs thermostat here is what supplies power to this entire circuit, and I can't disconnect that, and I don't have a switched pair because I need the black always hot going to this to get power to everything else. So the way it's wired currently, because of the way the house is wired, I can't do that, and as a result one of the lugs on this plug remains hot. Now you don't really feel it if you touch it unless you ground yourself on the pipe, so if you're leaning on that and you touch the prong on there, that's bad news. So to fix that, we have to run a new wire to the thermostat. And I know it's hard to see, I don't know if the YouTube compression is going to kill it, but right in the middle of your screen there's two like white looking wires, sort of white looking wires that run at a diagonal. I forget what one of them is for, but the other I think is the thermostat. And we'd have to fish that wire down and run a new one that has enough conductors in it. So that way power in the upstairs thermostat box can be just tied together to run down over the existing wires that are here, back over to power up this box and all the circuitry, and then this will act as a disconnect for everything. So that way when I unplug that, this plug, if it's plugged into any other outlet, will give power to the entire system. It'll run through one thermostat and back, then down the pipe to turn on that appropriate pump, or from the basement thermostat, it would run through that and back to turn on that appropriate pump. So there's three wires, like I said, in the pipe going down to the boiler, two hots that are switched by the thermostats, and one neutral. And obviously the neutral is shared. So I don't have enough wires, and this is actually unsafe. So for right now, I leave it plugged in until we go and run a new wire to the thermostat, and when I do that, there will most certainly be a video. But in the meantime, just hope that I don't get blown up, and there'll be more videos. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time.